Good morning, students. Am I audible? And I want to know whether the screen is visible to you. The screen is visible to everyone? Okay, fine. So I will begin then. So last class I have given you the rules, if you remember, for writing the name using the formula. So we are going to write the name. You are going to write the formula using the name. Okay. So few rules I have given to you. I'll just list out those rules. Okay, quickly once again. So the rules were, first one, you need to always write the cation then followed by the anion, because we are going to write the formula now when the name is given to us. So here the rule also goes like how we are following for the writing the name. Okay, so here you are going to write the cation first, then you are going to write the anion part of it. Okay, so cation should be followed by the anion. So here it will be like complex, which you are going to write first. If it is a cationic complex, then cationic complex, but then cation complex will be named first. After that, you will be having a counter ion. Okay. If it's an anionic complex, then you will see that the complex comes later. Before that, you will get a metal coming first. Okay. So you have to name that metal first, and then you will go for the complex part of it. Okay. While writing this. Okay. This has to be followed. Then next one, second one, I told you, when you are writing the coordination entity, that coordination entity has to be written in a square bracket. Okay. The second rule is, when you are writing the coordination entity, always write that coordination entity in a square bracket. Okay. That is the second rule. And then the third one was, within that coordination entity, when you are writing the metal and the ligand within that coordination entity, okay, within this you have to write the metal you will be writing at the extreme end. Okay, that is towards your left hand side. So first you will be writing the metal part over here on this side, then you will be having many ligands. Okay, so let me take that as ligand 1 2 and then so on. It depends how many ligands are given to you. So this ligand, you are going to arrange them in the alphabetical order. So metal has to come on this side, the transition metal will come to the extreme left. After that, you will be having the ligand, and this you can arrange them according to alphabetical order. Okay, so this will be according to their alphabetical order. So once you are done with this, you will get the coordination entity, plus you will get to know what is the counter ion present. Okay, so once this part is being discovered, after you are done with this, then the next thing what you have to do, the fourth rule is, once you get the coordination entity, okay, you need to calculate what is the charge on them. Okay, what is the charge on this, and then you will find there is a counter ion. Then you have to cross multiply those charges to equalize the charge. Okay, so you have to cross the valencies to equalize the charge. That will be your fourth rule. First you will find out what is that x value, that I will tell you how to find out. Okay, you will find out the x value. Then once you are done with that, like how normally we used to do for any compound, no, for example, suppose if aluminium sulfate is there, we will write Al3 plus, then we used to have sulfate SO4 2 minus, then we used to cross this valency writing Al2 then SO4 thrice. Okay, so like that only we have to cross this valencies. Okay, you are going to cross the valencies to equalize the charge. Valencies to equalize the charge. Okay, so these are the rules. Now, thinking that you all know the rules, I will proceed. I will give you the question part of it. Okay, so I will continue. The next part, we will start with the question. So first question I'm taking here, you can write down, okay, along with me. Tetra amine aqua, chlorido, cobalt 3 chloride. Cobalt 3 chloride. Okay. So this is the name of the complex. Now we need to write the formula of this particular complex. Okay. So how to start with tetra means 4. Okay. So I'll just write what they stand for here. Tetra means 4. So here tetra stands for 4. Then amine will be NH3 group. Okay. Then after that we have aqua. So that means water. You will be writing water. Then chlorido. So that means Cl group. After that we have the metal. So that will be cobalt, and oxidation state is given to you. Okay. Then followed by this last one, whatever you can see, that is a counter ion. Okay. So that means this whole complex is a cationic complex, because you can see here the ligand names are coming first, then you have a metal, and after that you are having a counter ion. That means this whole complex entity is a cationic complex. Okay, so we can start writing, because we have listed them, what are they and how many of them are present. Okay, so I told you inside the bracket when you are writing the name, okay, inside the bracket when you are writing the name, always the metal has to come on the left hand side. Okay, so I will write the metal on this side. I will close this in the coordination sphere. Okay. So I will start with the metal. Metal will come at the extreme end. Now, which is this metal? The metal which is present over here is the cobalt. Okay. So inside this, I will write cobalt. Yes. So your cobalt, and then after that you go for the ligand according to their order. Okay, so here NH3 has to come first. How many are there? 4 are there. So I will write NH3 and then 4 times. After that you can see here water, H2O. So you write H2O and then followed by you have chloride ion, that is Cl. Okay, so this part is over. Now after that we need to understand what is the charge on this, so that I will take as X. Then come to the next part of it, that is the counter ion. So you are having counter ion, that is chloride ion. So chloride ion charge, it is Cl minus. Okay, so this is how you are supposed to write. So now we are not done yet. Okay, I've just finished with writing the coordination sphere and the counter ion. Now we have to cross the valencies. To cross the valency, you need to find what is the charge which is being carried by the cationic complex here, so that we will find out. Okay, so I will write that on this side. This can be your rough work. Okay, students. Okay, if you are able to find out directly, well and good, but I will show you how exactly you should go about. Okay, so this whole thing has to be found out. Now cobalt oxidation state is given to you. You can see here cobalt oxidation state is 3. So I can take out the oxidation state of cobalt as 3. Okay, so the whole complex is carrying the charge is equal to X, which has to be found out. Okay, so I can write is equal to X. Okay, so your cobalt oxidation state is plus 3. So I will write as plus 3, plus 3, plus then we have ammonia. 4 into ammonia is there, and ammonia charge is how much? Ammonia charge is 0. So 4 into 0 I can write, that is 0 itself. 4 into 0 is 0 itself. Plus water is also a neutral ligand. So even they carry 0 charge itself. Correct? No, so that also I can write as 0. What is remaining is chloride. So that is minus 1. 1 chlorine is there. So minus 1. So what is the X charge? You are able to see here. X is equal to plus 2. Okay. So got how to find out, because oxidation state of metal you don't have to worry. That will be given to you in the question itself. Okay. So you see what is given in the bracket, that itself is the oxidation state. So here for cobalt it is plus 3. Then after that we have 4 amine. Remember, amine and water both are neutral ligands, so they don't carry any charge. So 4 into 0, so that is 0. Then again water is 0. And then we have chloride ion, so that is minus 1. So is equal to X we are finding out. So I have taken that as X. So here X value is plus 2. I can write here this whole thing, cobalt and then NH3, 4, water, then chloride, and the whole charge is plus 2 and chloride is minus 1. Now cross this valency. So 1 will come here and 2 will come this side. So what is the final compound? Cobalt and then it's NH3, 4 times water, Cl, and then I should write Cl2 here, okay, because I've brought this 2 on this side and 1 on the other side. Okay, so this is the final answer. Yes, you can take it down now. So meanwhile, I've written the second one also. If you have finished, you can try the second one. Potassium tetrahydroxo zincate 2. So with this, you will understand the complex which is given to you here. It is a anionic complex because metal name is coming first. Whenever you see a metal name coming first, that means it has to be a anionic complex. So potassium tetrahydroxozincate 2. So let's see how to write this. Potassium is K plus. No, I will write K plus. Then here tetrahydroxo. That means 4. Tetra means 4, correct, no? And hydroxo stands for OH group. Then zincate, zinc ion, zinc metal you are having, and oxidation state of that zinc given to you is 2. Okay, so here I can write that complex part. First metal has to come, no? Towards the left side, you will always see that the metal comes on this side. Then OH group 4 times because it is tetrahydroxo. So you have to write as zinc, OH, and then 4. Okay. Now this whole thing I will take as X, that we will find out. Okay, I will take that on this side. We can find out what is ZnOH4, the whole X value. Okay, now zinc value is given to you, know, the oxidation state. That is the value what I'm talking about here. Zinc oxidation state is plus 2. And OH minus oxidation state, how much it is? That is minus 1. So minus 1 into 4 will be minus 4 is equal to X. Okay. So your minus 4 plus 2 will be minus 2. So X value is equal to minus 2. Okay. So X value we have got as minus 2 here. So that means the whole charge on the complex will be minus 2. So I can write here ZnOH 4 and then whole charge is 2 minus. Then you cross them. Okay. Yes, very good. Correct. The answers are correct. So after you cross them, you will be getting it like this. K2, then because 2 will come here and 1 will come this side. So K2ZnOH4. Okay, so this is the answer. So I'll give you the next one. Meanwhile, you can finish writing this. Okay, the next one is potassium trioxalato aluminate 3. Okay. Now you all try this by yourself and tell me what is the formula. Potassium trioxalato aluminate 3. Yes, very good. Yes, others also answer, students. Let me know what is the answer you have got. Potassium here is K plus. Okay. Yes. Potassium is K plus. Very good. Correct. Yes. Good. Trioxalato. So 3. Yeah, you can write OX or you can write even C2O4. Okay, anything is fine. That will not be a problem. Okay, you can write any one. Either you can write OX here because it is a didentate ligand, no? So they use short form. Abbreviation can be OX, or you can use C2O4 also. Okay, so your trioxalato means 3 oxalate ions are there, OX group are there, and then you have aluminate. Okay, aluminium with the oxidation state is 3. Okay, so I will write that potassium is on this side, then aluminium should come at the extreme left. After that we have trioxalato. I will just write OX and then they are 3 times. Okay, then close this bracket and find out what is the charge on them. Directly you can find out. You know what is the oxidation state of oxalate, no? The charge on them is -2. So -2 into 3. So that will be -6, correct? No, -6. And then oxidation state of aluminium is 3. So -6 plus 3. Correct? No, so whole charge should be -3. No, so I can directly write here -3 instead of doing all this calculation. Once you are thorough, no, you will be able to do that. Okay, so your oxalate is -2. So -2 into 3 is -6. Aluminium oxidation state is +3. So the whole complex should carry -3. So then when you cross them, you will get K3 AlOX thrice and then close it because your potassium will give you 1. Either this way you can write or you can write in this way. K3 Al oxalate is C2O4. 4 and then 3. Okay, so both are correct. Okay, next one. Tetraamine diaqua cobalt 3 chloride. Tetraamine diaqua cobalt 3 chloride. Try this and tell me. You all try in your book and check out whether the answers are correct. Okay, so I will do it over here. Tetraamine diaqua cobalt 3 chloride. So that means chloride is at the end on this side, Cl minus. Okay, and then tetraamine I will take here. Cobalt should come over here, no? So I will put that cobalt over here, and then tetraamine. Amine has to come first. A comes first, AM will come first, and then AQ will come afterwards. So I will take amine first. So NH3, and then 4 times. Diaqua means 2 water molecules are there. 2 water, no? So I should write diaqua. So H2O and then twice. Okay, then I have to close this bracket. I need to find what is the charge on the particular complex. That is a cationic complex. So what do you think will be the charge over here? Ammonia is a neutral molecule. Water is also a neutral molecule. Whatever charge is there on the cobalt, same charge the cationic complex is going to carry. So your cobalt oxidation state is +3. Yes. So it will be +3. Okay. Then you cross the valencies. Done. Yeah. Many have answered. Correct. Very good. So here the final formula is NHCO, NH3, 4, H2O, twice, and then Cl3. I hope you are able to follow this. Everyone, did you all understand how to write the formula when the name is given to you? Could you just reply, students? Okay, now few more I will take so that you are very thorough with it. Okay, next one, write down. Di chlorido bis ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt 3. Dichlorido bis ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt 3. Little changes are there here. Yeah, correct. But something is missing. The question is like this only given to you. Okay, even in the textbook, they have given it like this. Okay, I will do it here. See, check out. Dichlorido. That means you have, yes, correct. Now it's correct. So dichlorido bis ethane 1 comma 2 diamine. And then cobalt is 3. Okay, so here cobalt I will write first. Cobalt I will write over here. And then after that we have dichlorido. So dichlorido means we should have 2 Cl group. No, so Cl2 I will write. Ethane, bis ethane 1 comma 2 diamine. It's a didentate ligand. Then I should be writing here En as twice. Okay. So COCl2 and then En twice. Then I should close here. We need to find out what is that X value. Okay, I will take it over here on this side. Cobalt oxidation state, you know, it is plus 3. And then chloride oxidation state is minus 1 into 2. That is minus 2 itself. And En oxidation state is 0. So that means yes. Very good. Correct. Now it's correct. So 3 plus 3 minus 2. Whole charge is equal to X. So X is equal to plus 1. Okay. So here whatever charge the complex has to carry, that is plus 1. So it has to be, this is X I will take. Okay. So here CO, Cl2, En twice and then plus charge. Okay. See, one trick, what they have done is they have not mentioned it is an ion. If they had mentioned it is an ion, like it would be little more easier. But then they are playing up here to see whether you are able to write the charge on that. Okay, so here, this is how the question is given in the textbook. So do remember, in case if you come across such type of complex where they have not given you counter ion, you see what are the charges on that and then write down that particular charge. Okay, so this much only is the answer for us because there is no counter ion present. So that is the reason why this whole complex is carrying a charge. Now, few questions I will give it to you as homework you can do. Take down that, okay? I will write it here itself. Potassium, tetra, cyano, nickelate, 2, okay? Seventh one, iron, 3, hexa, cyano, ferrate. Hexacyanoferrate 2. Then di. You see this question, if you find anything which is like very difficult, you tell me, I will work out here itself now. Okay. Dichlorido bis ethane 1 comma 2 diamine platinum 4 nitrate. Amine, bromido, chlorido, nitrito, N, platinate 2. Any question you want me to work out over here? I've given 4 as homework. So let me know if you want anything has to be worked out here. One more I will give. One. Tris ethane 1,2 diamine. Tris ethane 1,2 diamine. Chromium 3 chloride. Chromium 3 chloride. Any question you want me to work out, or is it fine? Shall we proceed then? You will do it by yourself? Students reply. Otherwise, how will I understand which one you want me to work out here? Should I work out any one? Just number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've given no here. Any one question you want me to work out? Or is it fine? You will do it by yourself. I'm asking something. So have some courtesy to reply. 7th one, should I work out? Okay, fine. Okay, 7th and 9th one has been asked, so I will work out both. No problem. So 7th one, you see, 7th one question is iron 3 hexacyanoferrate 2. Okay. So iron oxidation state they are mentioning here. So 7th one I'm going to work out here. So iron oxidation state is in +3. So I will write Fe 3 plus. Okay. And then hexacyanoferrate 2. So hexacyanoferrate, this is the complex part of it. And then here ferrate means again iron it is. Okay, Fe. Then hexacyano means cyano is for CN group. Okay, and 6 cyanide groups are there. So I should write here CN and then 6. Okay. So this is how the complex will be. And then we need to find out what is the charge. Cyanide charge is -1, correct? No? Yes. So it is -1 into 6. That is -6. And then for this, the oxidation state is, for this iron, it is +2. So +2 minus 6 is equal to x. So x is equal to -4, correct? No? So here it is -4. Very good. That's the correct answer. So here you need to cross this valency. So it will be Fe. This 4 will come here and this 3 will come this side. So Fe4, then FeCN6, then 3. Okay. So this is the 7th one. Answer. And 9th one, you see, 9th one also I will do here. 9th one is amine bromido chlorido nitrito and platinate 2. Okay. So again amine comes first and the whole complex should be a cationic complex. So here the complex comes first. In that, platinum is the metal, so I will write platinum over here. After that we have amine, so it is NH3 group, so directly you write NH3 and there is no numbering, okay, there is no prefix given, so it's only one amine. And then after that we have bromido, that means Br group is there, and then you have chlorido, so that is Cl group, and then nitrito N. See, when nitrito N is given, how are you going to write? You are going to write N linking first, okay. That means here nitrogen is linking to the metal atom, to the platinum atom, so NO2 will be written like this, NO2, okay. Suppose if they had given you nitrito and then O, then you have to write it in this way, ONO, okay. Nitro group itself, but then linking will be through oxygen, so it has to be written in this way, okay. That you have to keep in mind. So yeah, this whole thing is over, no? So once this is over, we need to find out what is the charge which they have to carry. Can you tell me what is the charge they will be carrying? Oxidation state of platinum is given. Just tell me what is the charge they are going to carry. NO2, let me tell you, NO2 is -1. Yes. Good. Others also reply and tell me what is the charge they should be carrying. Here the complex should be carrying what charge? Platinum is +2. So this is +2. Ammonia is 0. Bromine is -1. Chloride is also -1. Nitrate is also -1. So you see how much is the charge? -3 + 2. Yes, -1. Because this and this will get cancelled. No, -1 will remain, is equal to X. So that means the whole charge on them NH3, Br, Cl, NO2 and then -1. So this is the answer. Copy it down quickly. Yes, correct. Eighth one is correct. Correct answer. Good. NO, yes, yes, correct. Yes, I'll proceed then now. So here we are done with the nomenclature part. I have told you how to write the formula also, and I have told you how to write the name also. So we have discussed both now. Now we will go for the important topic of it, okay, which comes for the major marks in this chapter, a compulsory question type, okay, which we have, that is the bonding we need to explain here, okay. So that bonding you have to study based on valence bond theory. We are going to explain the bonding of the coordination compound, okay. So that is our next topic. So you can write down the heading. it is valence bond theory, that is VBT, okay, valence bond theory. So we are going to explain the coordination, okay, compounds bonding based on this theory, valence bond theory, okay. So there are certain assumptions which are given by this theory. So we will list out those. Don't worry about the assumption. You don't have to study the assumption as such, but then you have to remember those assumptions to explain the bonding in this particular compound. Okay, so I will list out those assumptions. So just keep the assumptions in your mind. Okay, so the first assumption what they say is when the central metal ion in the complex, okay, is going to bind with the ligand, so that amount of empty orbital which they are going to make available to the ligand, that will be depending on the coordination number. Always when the metal has to link with the ligand, this metal will make certain orbitals available. Okay, so empty orbitals will be made available, empty orbitals will be made available by this metal, so that the ligands can come and occupy and form a bond with this particular metal. It's a coordinate bond. No, so metal is not going to use their electrons to bind with the ligand. Okay, so the only thing what the ligand has to give their electrons to bind with the metal. Okay, the bonding will take place like this. The whole electrons will be donated by the ligand. It will not be donated by the metal. So that is what we call as coordinate bond. Okay, so here what happens is the ligand will give their electrons and then they will bind with the metal atom. So now how many empty orbitals are they going to make available to combine with the ligand? So that depends on the coordination number. Okay, so here the number of empty orbitals made available, the number of empty orbitals which will be made available, that depends on the coordination number of the ligand and the metal which they have bind. No, you know what is coordination number? The number of bonds which we can see between the metal and the ligand. Okay, so that depends on the coordination number. Suppose if the coordination number is 6, then 6 empty orbitals will be made available by the metal. Okay, so 6 empty orbitals they will keep available for them. And if the coordination number is going to be 4, then this metal will make available 4 empty orbitals, so that ligand can come and occupy those orbitals. Okay, so that is the first assumption. Now next one, the next assumption is these atomic orbitals. Okay, there are appropriate atomic orbitals. So like you have studied about s, p, d, and then s, p, d, f orbitals are there. So here s, p, d only we are going to use. So these s, p, d, f orbitals will undergo hybridization to give you all the orbitals which are having equivalent energy. Okay, whatever orbitals they are going to make available, all those orbitals will undergo hybridization. All these orbitals will undergo hybridization, and once the hybridization is over, since the bond length between all the molecules, and that is the metal and the ligand, is going to be same, that means the bond which is being made available, it is being made available after the hybridization. So all these orbitals will undergo hybridization to give you equivalent, okay, equivalent orbitals. And once that equivalent orbitals are being made available, then this ligand will come and donate their electron to form a bond. Okay, so when they form a bond, depending on the coordination number, the geometry will change. Okay, so you need to remember only 4 complexes you are going to study. Okay, so I will list that. You have to remember coordination number, and then what is a hybridization, and then based on that hybridization, what geometry are they going to have? Okay, so what geometry are they going to show, that we will discuss here. Suppose if the coordination number is 4, remember, if the coordination number is 4, one hybridization possible is sp3. Okay, so if sp3 is a hybridization, you have studied what should be the geometry. Okay, so if sp3 is the hybridization, the geometry has to be tetrahedral. Okay, the geometry is going to be tetrahedral. And one more, if coordination number is 4, one more hybridization is possible, that is dsp2. Okay, and then the geometry is going to be square planar. So if this is the coordination number, 4 is a coordination number, and DSP2 is the hybridization, then the geometry is going to be square planar. If it is 5, okay, then the hybridization is SP3D. SP3D, then 5, no, so it is trigonal bipyramidal. Okay, trigonal bipyramidal. And then sixth one, there are two, okay, SP3 D2, and one more is D2 SP3. See the number of orbitals. If the number of orbitals are 6, S1 3p, so 4 plus 2 6. Here also 2d plus 1s and then 3p, so total is 6. If these two are the case, hybridization is this, then the geometry has to be octahedral. Okay, this you can keep in mind. So I have listed only 2 assumption. Next I will do in the another class. So you can make a note of this, students. Yes, Werner also you have to study. Okay, that I will do later. I thought I will do that later.